Hello everybody, welcome back to the last episode of Season 10 on F1 2017. Of course we have the Challenge Cup, but that doesn't count as Season 10, so tonight are the final two races of Season 10 and the final parts of F1 2017 on this game. My name is Kieran McGinley and you join me for a fantastic night. Now, of course, we have it all to play for tonight because we have two people who could win the championship. You've got Lambo with 282 in second, but Blizzard is in the lead on 304 points. There's a 22-point gap difference between those two. So, Blizzard only needs to score 4 more points than Lambo in this race here at Brazil, and he will be crowned champion with 1 race to go. All exciting times. Well, if we had anything like Mexico and if we had anything like the USA, we should be in for a great weekend. I say weekend, I mean great 2 races. Hopefully nothing will go wrong, and hopefully then I've put in the right round number and where we're actually racing. So obviously, where are we racing? None other than the legendary Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Has been here on the calendar since 1973, and it's made a few modifications since then. But the track we have today is a fantastic 15-corner anti-clockwise. Clockwise circuit. Oh, it is clockwise. No, it's anti-clockwise. Whatever. Whatever it is, it's that. Should be a good one. 15 corners with 2 DRS zones, 1 along the start-finish straight and 1 along the back straight, just after turn 3, heading towards turn 4. Not known for its overtaking, but you can go too wide through the centre S's, through turns 1, 2 and 3, and then you can try and make an overtake point out of turn 12 if you really want to, but most people will prioritise the exit of that corner rather than the entry. Of course, you have the right-hander of turn 10. We've seen many people dive down the inside before. We will definitely probably see it again tonight. Stuart there saying this is going to be a good one. It absolutely is, and I cannot wait for it. 22 points is all that separates the two at the top, Lambo and Blizzard. And if you saw Mexico and you saw my reaction to what happened in Mexico, then you will know I'm not hyping this up any one bit. Do you remember last season, season number 9, when Alan Kay and Blizzard got together? Oh, I remember that. It sent Blizzard spinning around. You know what happened after that race? Well, he came to Abu Dhabi and he won it. He won season 9. He just got back on his horse and got back on it, and fair play to him. It was a fantastic drive at Abu Dhabi. You cannot fault him for that. Maybe the same luck will come to Blizzard again tonight, but obviously he's under a lot more pressure. Lambo is a quick driver and is ready to pounce on any mistake. Hello there, Z3. Welcome. Hopefully you will have a good race tonight. 15 drivers so far tonight with us, so hopefully we're all ready to go very, very shortly. Now, obviously, I'm trying this new design because you'll see it on the stream where comments appear on the right hand side. I've tried comments speaking to me. It was horrible. Being spoken to by a robotic voice, it was unnerving more than anything. So I've gone with this today. The reason being is because I can't open YouTube on my laptop, otherwise the bandwidth goes crazy and the stream dies. It's happened before and it'll happen again if I'm not careful. Not the best of tracks for Z3. Well, anything can happen, especially when there's light rain on the forecast for Brazil tonight. So hopefully we're in for a good race today. As I said, the final 2 races of Season 10. I haven't been here for a lot of the season, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited for this one. 2 great title rivals. If you talk to Lambo, he's been unlucky this year, losing out on the TTFL Championship, and I'm pretty sure that's going to motivate him not to lose out on this one just yet. He's going to hang in there for as long as he can. We're counting down now to round 19 and the Brazilian Grand Prix, which I cannot wait for. So the great thing about the Brazilian Grand Prix is you get to try and pronounce Portuguese names like Junsao. I've never really known how well to say it, but I've always gone by, James Allen or David Croft in how not to say it. But if we've got any Portuguese If we've got any Portuguese speakers racing or in the stream tonight, let me know how it's pronounced. I have tried to see if I could pronounce it, but no, you know what? I'm not going to bother. Junsao, I think that's how you say it. Anyway, we won't get too caught up in that. I'd like to get more caught up in the racing, and I'm sure you all will too. And the only problem is there is going to be some people in the chat saying, no, you're saying it wrong. Well, sorry for not being a native Portuguese speaker, but these things happen. So I've got to be ready to skip possibly the last time I see this screen. We'll have to wait and see if I'm around for the challenge cut. I should be. I hope I will be. Well, just depends in if I'm free. Of course, we have the one-shot qualifying where there is rain forecast. And is there rain? We're just waiting for Ollie. We don't normally wait for Ollie. What's going on? There we go. Light rain. So it looks like intermediate tyres will be at the ready for this one. And rain always throws in, it's always throws in a joker card, doesn't it? The rain really separates who can get the great setup, because when it comes to the rain you need higher aero, and the guys like Blizzard who love to run this sort of 2 front wing, 10 rear wing, it really hurts them sometimes. So you've got to find that balance between speed and getting the grip through the corners. I can't wait for this one. And as always, trying to cover one-shot qualifying is probably one of the most difficult things I've had to do since I picked up commentary, but I'll tell you what, I'll do it. I'll give it my best shot. We have, of course, Squeezy we're running on board with right now, who's currently in P8. That's not Squeezy. Who is that? That's Siege. My apologies. Siege is coming through. Well, I'll tell you what, Blizzard currently leading the way. Championship leader is trying to get himself onto the top step, and that's Spike retired from the session. Spike must have cut the centre chicane, because otherwise he wouldn't have retired for that one. But we are seeing Blizzard coming towards the right hand of turn 8. And as we go through towards turn 9, you can see Blizzard there really wanting to get his foot in the door. We've also got Lambo there, who isn't far behind, 22 points behind, and he knows that any mistake here in this race will cost him dearly. But Blizzard is setting down the marker right now. Lighty is in second, by the way. Squeezy third, Lambo in fourth. That's crucial. The two Haas's are ahead of Lambo right now, and I wonder if Squeezy's going to try and help out his teammate here. Damien has retired from the session, and I think he might have cut the cord the same as Spike. So Blizzard comes across the line, 1:18.0 for Blizzard, as Z3 disqualified from the session. Obviously cut the corner, his lap time will not count. Blizzard then on pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix. So let's have a look. Blizzard on pole position. Lighty is in second. Squeezy third. Siege in fourth. Lambo in fifth. Maze in sixth. Weed Nation seventh. Poe in eighth. Steph in ninth. Ollie in 10th. Alan K in 11th. Plaster 12th. Damien, Z3 and Spike not setting lap times. It's interesting though, Damien retired from the session himself. Didn't get disqualified, so that's an interesting one there, but he will be starting from P13. So we are expecting light rain throughout the race, so no risk of any tyre changes or any strategy there, unless of course it starts dry. Who knows? Worth noting that Blizzard is a full second faster than Light E in that qualifying. Well, if Blizzard wants to run away with it, he's going the right way about it right now. So there you are, light rain for the race as well. And we will be looking now towards the grid. I think we saw Lambo in P5, and crucially Squeezy's out-qualified him. So Blizzard's teammate has out-qualified Lambo today. So the really important thing is, if it finishes as the grid it starts today, Blizzard is champion by the end of this race. So will we see the championship decider here, or can Lambo hold it off for Abu Dhabi? We're about to find out very, very shortly as we head onto the formation lap. So then, away we go, as Blizzard will lead the pack around 18 laps around this legendary Brazilian circuit. As if anyone has seen Senna win here, you'll know how absolutely ecstatic he was. In fact, so ecstatic and so tired that in Parc Fermé he almost fainted from exhaustion and dehydration. That's how hard he worked. Now, with Blizzard, I'm hoping he doesn't work himself to dehydration, because there is another race straight after this one. Lambo needs to be on the ball today. But he's got a lot of competitors in front of him. Light E in second place has put himself right in the mix there. Squeezy, crucially, Blizzard's teammate, in third place. Siege is in fourth place, so Lambo has a lot to do today. Maze, meanwhile, is qualified in sixth. Weed Nation in seventh. Poe, Lambo's teammate, is starting from P8. Steph in ninth place. Ollie is in 10th. Alan K starting from 11th place. Plaster in 12th. Damien in 13th. Z3 14th. And Spike down in P15. So he's looking for an excellent drive today, looking to try and get some points on the board once again. He is third in the championship, Spike, and has a couple of wins under his belt this season, so it's not been too bad of a season, but he'll look to pick himself up for the next game. He's been talking about that a lot recently, to try and focus on the next game. It's almost like trying to focus on the developing next year's car, isn't it, really? But Blizzard taking the pack right the way to the grid. Of course, TTL season number 10 is sponsored by weakwifi-solutions.com, offering the winner of season 10 a copy of F1 2018. As well as that, we're also sponsored by fatalgrips.com. Use the code TTL F1 at the checkout for 10% off your order. Get some new grips for the new game. Meanwhile, though, we are going to start here with round 19 at the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're ready. 5 red lights. Lights out. Round 19 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like Blizzard has got a fantastic start. That looks like a Force India having trouble off the start. And look at Lambo here. He's already round the outside of the McLaren. Down the inside he goes. Has he made that position up? Yes, he has. He's up into P4 now from Lambo. Good start from him. That's what he needed. He's got a couple of other opponents right on his tail, though, so he's got to be careful. Meanwhile, Spike and Plaster trying to go side by side as lots of rubber coming off those tyres. And I believe that's Z3 going off the track. Just took too much of that white line there, and it sent him going off the track. Meanwhile, Lambo's made another position. He's past Squeezy now. He is on a charge, up into P3 now. That is exactly what he needed. Spike there, getting past Ollie, and he's up 5 places from his starting position. Great start from Spike as well. Pretty clean as well, but you can see this is not what Lambo wanted. Blizzard galloping away. This is not what he wanted at all. He's got to try and get past Light E if he wants to keep this championship alive. And speaking of Light E, he is currently falling back 1.8 seconds. You can see there Light E makes that mistake. Could be Lambo's calling there. And we've got to see now up the hill, what is his exit going to be like. We're running aboard with Spike here, who is trying to get past Weed Nation. Spike here trying to recover from P15 because he did get disqualified from qualifying. And here comes Lambo round the outside of Light E going into turn 1. Can he make that move stick? No, he can't quite do it. Meanwhile, further back, we've got Poe getting past Maze there, and Lambo's teammate moves up into P7. He's got to keep that car under control because Maze here might have a go back. Lots of wheel spin there. Back end out, and Maze, it could be trying to go round, but hopefully it'll hold out for this race. Poe then managing to hold on to that position. Oh, we've got Squeezy here right on the tail of Lambo. Lambo right on the tail of Light E. He knows he has to make that move stick. And when we come into a race like this, we're looking at one stop, one and only stop of the race to go onto a set of intermediate tyres. We're not expecting the rain to clear at all during the race. Weed Nation here in P10, trying to find a way past Spike, who's trying to find a way past Maze. Makes that contact going into turn 10, I believe, and coming through turn 11 now. It might be might have a trouble naming some of these corners. Like I said, my Portuguese isn't brilliant, but we have Lambo on the back of Light E. Of course, no DRS at all in this race. It's all got to be done on track. And Lambo here is going to try around the outside once again on Lighty. Can he try and force his way through? Maybe try and hang it on the inside. He tries it. Oh, it's contact! Lambo's around! Oh, I don't believe it! Lambo on lap 3 has made contact with Light E. I think I did a Murray Walker there, but Lambo there all the way around. And he's all the way down in P11. Unbelievable. Just when he wanted to charge through the field and have an easier race, he's got himself in that position that he's got to work absolutely around the clock, and he's going to do it right away with an inside move down the inside of Ollie, which will then become the outside as we head towards turn 6, and Ollie runs a little bit deep into the corner. That has to force Lambo out of the move, and Lambo here has got to keep his cool. He's got to keep considered here because it's not over yet. We'll have a look at Spike here on Maze as we come through turn 10, making our way through turn 11 right now. And oh no, that's not Lambo around again, is it? Oh, it might be, as he's losing a lot of positions. He's now down to P14, and this is not what Lambo wanted at all in this race. Of all the races to fall all the way down the grid, it couldn't have been this one. Spike there, down the inside of Maze as we head towards turn 1. And to be honest with you, well, Maze is still sticking his nose in there. He doesn't want to give up the position too easily. But Spike there up into P7, and away he goes. Siege, meanwhile, you can see there, right on the tail of Squeezy. Squeezy up into P3, Lighty back into 2nd. And Siege here is sniffing that podium place. Steph, meanwhile, has managed to get his way back up from P9. So great drive from Steph so far. He's in P5. Oh, and that was Poe there having a little bit of a moment. And that's going to invite Spike. He's going to put some pressure on the back of Poe there. And Poe here has just got to keep his cool. Long way to go in this race. And plenty of opportunities to make mistakes. Siege here is trying to defend from Steph, whilst he's also trying to attack Squeezy ahead of him. So he's got a lot on his plate right now, Siege. But if any man can keep his cool in those types of situations, Siege is the man to do it. We head through turn 12, and then these left-handers of turn 13, then through 14. And again, I do have to apologise for my internet. It's not going to be great. It's not the best at all, but we'll try and stick with it the best we can. As that is Lambo now up into P12. He's past Plaster. And we have, there was a little battle going on between Spike and Poe. And Poe's run deep into turn 1. Oh, he's round! Both Force Indians have spun in the same place. And Poe lost the back end and just went into Spike. Nothing he could have done about it. Nothing Spike could have done about it. And both Force Indians have suffered here. And this is not going to bode well for the constructors either, as Poe finds himself all the way down in last place. Well, how's your luck, Force India? Both cars running in P11 and P15. Meanwhile, the Haas cars are running P1 and P3. Steph there in P5, right on the back of Siege. And just not let him get away too far. Just trying to keep his cool in these types of situations. We've got Ollie here on the back of Weed Nation. And Ollie just trying to do his best to try and get onto the back of Weed Nation. Maybe try and find a way past. We've got Lambo here, who is going to try and have to work a miracle and try and get past Alan Kay coming into turn 12. And well, we've seen before, many people have attempted to get from the back of the grid to where they needed to go. Many have failed, but enough have managed to do it. Lambo there gets past Alan Kay, and I don't think Alan made it too difficult for Lambo. Lambo up into P10. He's back into the points. That's Poe getting a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I don't think that's I don't think he'll be too concerned about that at all at the moment. He just wants to get back out there. Squeezy here, 3rd place right now, and Siege is still trying to put some pressure on him. Lap 6 of this Grand Prix. Blizzard leads, Lighty 2nd, Squeezy 3rd, Siege 4th, Steph 5th, Spike 6th, Maze is 7th, Weed Nation 8th, Ollie 9th, Lambo 10th, Alan K 11th, Blaster 12th, Damien 13th, Z3 14th, and Poe in 15th place. No retirements as of yet. And look how close Siege is to the back of Squeezy. Might have even given him a little love tap there. But it's just putting Squeezy under that little bit of pressure. But will Squeezy succumb to that pressure? I don't think you could have had more of a better pairing than Blizzard and Squeezy this season. Okay, oh, we got Squeezy into the pits then. Early call. And he's got that 5-second stop go, which will cost him towards the end of the race, that's for sure. Meanwhile, we've got Steph here, right on the back of Siege. Well, Steph has picked up some pace through the centre S's. And he might have an opportunity to try and get through. Squeezy is the first of the front runners to pit in. That looks like a strategic change as well. We'll have a look and see where Squeezy rejoins. So out of the pit lane he goes. Remember, it's got to be perfect getting out of this pit lane. It's very difficult, and it's one of the longest pit lanes you could probably ever have. But there we go. You get to rejoin the track just after turn 3. And Squeezy there rejoins in P14. We've got Damien trying to have a battle with Z3 for P12 as Z3 runs a little bit deep into turn 5. As we now head towards turn 6, Damien playing it safe for now. Oh, Z3's run a little bit deep now into turn 6. Now, Damien could have a go around the outside of turn 7 as we head up the hill now. And yes, he has. Damien moves up into P12, and Z3 there just made that mistake, opened up the door, and Damien is through. Oh, Poe around again! Oh, I don't believe that. What happened there? He must have just dropped it. Lost the back end. And, well, Poe here is going to trundle his way around the track once again. Heartbreaking stuff. Weed Nation, meanwhile, battling with Maze as we head through the centre S's. And we are coming now along that long back straight here as Z3 has found a way past Damien once again. We're riding on board with Weed Nation as he goes to the inside, down into turn 4, and he's got the move done. Weed Nation has just about hold on there, and he will hold on through turn 5 there. Great move from Weed Nation there. We've got also Lambo making his way past Ollie up into P8. So it's a start. Lap 8 of this Grand Prix, and Lambo is in P8. I'll tell you what, there is a good battle happening between Damien and Z3, it seems. Z3 might have made that mistake because you wouldn't normally see him that far back from the car in front. Siege here is up into P3 with Squeezy pitting. And Squeezy is just hoping for a major undercut. See if he can make those tyres go quite a way through. We see Z3 dropping a position there to Squeezy. So Squeezy is already trying to make his way through. And Light E has got himself a 5-second stop-go penalty. This pit lane is proving increasingly difficult. Maze has managed to hit the line and hit the limiter. So, exact halfway mark for Light E and Maze to pit in. So where does Light E rejoin? Where does he rejoin in terms of Squeezy? Where is Squeezy out on track? And he's coming down the start-finish straight just now. So then Light E making his way through the pit lane, and I think he's going to rejoin in front of Squeezy. Yes, he is. If he just takes it easy through the pit lane, he should find himself in front. And yes, he will. So Light E rejoins ahead of Squeezy. And that is crucial for Light E, because it shows then that the longer you went on the tyres, the more chance you had of staying ahead. So that's a vital message then up to Blizzard. And I think Squeezy will be telling him, look, stay out. It's the best opportunity and the best option to do right now. But we'll obviously have to wait and see. Obviously, Blizzard, the gap between him and Siege right now is 15 seconds. Blizzard has run away with this right now. And remember, that gap was 22 points. Lambo is up in P6 at the moment, which will offer him, I believe, 8 points. Yeah, that's right, 8 points. So 25 to 8 points is maths. So that will be 17 points, if I'm not mistaken, which will then take Blizzard's lead to an uncatchable 39 points, which obviously he couldn't be caught then. Oh, Poe is out of the race. And, well, he's he's gone into the wall backwards there. Now, was that a rage crash or was that a genuine mistake? Well, we'll never know now. Poe becomes the first retirement from this Brazilian Grand Prix. Well, Siege here just can't get away from Steph and Ollie. Steph and Spike, sorry. Spike, who has worked his way all the way up now to P4. And when he started from the back of the grid, incredible drive from him right now. And, well, they're just thinking, the longer we stay out, there's a chance here that we could make something work. Lambo here, I believe, has pitted. Oh, he's might have run into the back of Weed Nation. But let's have a look at the stops then. Lambo has made his one and only stop. So this is a chance then to try and find something on Blizzard. Oh, look at this battle here between Siege, Steph and Spike right now. And Spike makes a mistake there. Very rare to see from him. But he's lost a lot of time, and that's going to invite Ollie to try and close up the gap. He is 9.1 seconds, but you never know. He could be round the corner. Lambo then again has to make his way through the field, and this time he's going to go down the inside of Weed Nation into turn 1. And can he make that move stick? Yes, he can. Lambo up into P10, back up into the points. And at the moment, he's not had a great day, has he? But he's going to fight until the very last lap. Mays, meanwhile, makes his way past C3, and Mays is now up into P12. Steph is still on the tail of Siege. Siege cannot shake Steph right now. And that's going to be increasingly frustrating. When you can't get away from the car behind, it gets you incredibly frustrated. Incredibly frustrated. But we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out and who pits in when. We've got Blizzard staying out as he starts the 12th lap of this race. And who is coming into the pits? Well, it's certainly not Siege, it's certainly not Steph, and it's certainly not Spike. I'm wondering if they think they can make it to the end of the race on their set of tyres. It's doable. You could, in theory, do it. But is the risk too great, I wonder? This could be a chance for Lambo to try and make something out of that, as we see Lighty trying to get past Plaster around the outside, and Plaster, in his defence, doesn't really put up much of a fight there. Lighty up into P7 and trying to fight his way through. So yeah, I'm wondering then, are the guys ahead not stopping? There's nothing in the rulebook that says you have to stop in a race. It's just that you have to use 2 compounds of dry tyre. So, in theory, Blizzard might actually be trying to make it to the end of the race, or at least leaving it until lap 16 or something. Oh, Blizzard's left the session. Blizzard has left the session. Oh, this is dramatic now. Because if Blizzard doesn't rejoin and finishes as a ghost car, his points don't count. And Blizzard's car, as an AI, comes into the pits. So, well, this is dramatic now. This is the lifeline Lambo needed. He needs this luck right now. And he'll have seen at the bottom there that Blizzard's left the session, and it will motivate him even further. So Siege then is going to take the lead of this race. You see, there goes Blizzard, and Siege moves into the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Steph now in second, Spike in third. Blizzard's ghost car. Oh, this is going to cost Blizzard so much time. If he can't rejoin, then Lambo here is handed a lifeline. Well, Blizzard there then coming out the pit lane, and he rejoins in 4th place, but it is a ghost car set to hard difficulty, so it's not going to be very quick around this track. So where is Lambo then? Lambo is in P10. He knows then that he has a little bit of time on his side, because even if it says they rejoin the session, it doesn't give you control of the car straight away. It just says they've rejoined the lobby. So that is the lifeline he needs then. Lighty, meanwhile, is on the back of Alan Kay. And will he try and find that way past into turn 6? No, he doesn't. Alan Kay, in his fairness, does a little bit of defending as we head through turn 7. And towards... well, that can't be turn 7, can it? Oh, Lighty's gone up the inside of Alan Kay. And a little bit of contact there. But Lighty has made the move stick. Aggressive, wanted to just get past straight away, and he's done just that. Spike, meanwhile, is on the back of Steph in the slipstream now. But is there slipstream since someone has left the session? Well, I don't know. I simply don't know. What is this battle doing between Lambo and Blizzard? Well, Lambo is P10. Blizzard is in P4. But as you can see how much he's lifting, the AI is going so slowly through there. There goes Ollie up into P4. Blizzard has joined back and he will not be happy at all. But Lambo here knows that he's rejoined the session, and he knows that Blizzard isn't going to be taking that lying down. He'll have fresh tyres and he'll be able to push. But he's got a lot of ground to make up. As soon as his car turns solid, you'll know he's back in the car. But is that an opportunity that has just sailed by Lambo through no fault of his own? Yellow flags in sector 3. And is that Blizzard? No, it's not. Well, Blizzard, there you go. He's solid now. So he's rejoined. He's back in the car. He's P6. And he's behind Light E. So where is Lambo? There is Lambo there. So if it finishes like this, Lambo will score a point. That takes it down to 21. And Blizzard will score 8 points, which will take it up back to 29. So if it finishes like this even, Blizzard will still be champion. But Blizzard knows now that he's got to try and get past Light E. Because Light E is, it doesn't look like he's going to stop again. So this is fresh rubber versus old intermediate tyres. Well, Odem, I think you've missed the part where Blizzard got disconnected from the lobby. So he had about a 17-second lead before you joined and before he got disconnected. But he's got a lot of ground to make up right now. Still in this position, he'll be able to win the championship. So Lambo's still in P10. Trying to chase down trying to chase down Blizzard's teammate, Squeezy. Oh, that's Squeezy off. Speak of the devil, he's into the wall. Squeezy got onto the curb and has lost the back end. And Blizzard's teammate has handed a position to Lambo. So Lambo then up into P9. And again, that's a boost of encouragement if ever I saw one. Blizzard here still trying to find a way past Light E. And now Squeezy has retired from the session. He has crashed into the wall. And he will not be taking any further part in this race. Blizzard here, fresh tyres, right on the tail of Light E. Down the inside it goes, and with that better traction, you can see him. He's already gone. He's up in the P5 now, and has to chase down Ollie for P4. But Light E here might have to try a move. He might try a move around the outside, going into turn 1. But Blizzard holds him off for now, and of course Blizzard with that fresh tyre, with that fresh rubber. You can see he's already starting to pull away, and his next target is Ollie. Lambo, though, is up into P8. He's got past Plaster. His next target is Alan K. 3.4 seconds the gap. He can see him, and that's the most important thing. Blizzard, though, carving his way through the field. He's got Ollie next. So we head through this double right-hander now. And Blizzard, can he try and move down the inside into turn 6? He's definitely going to try it. As he's side by side now with Ollie. Can he make that move stick? Right on side by side. But Ollie can't quite keep up with the pace of Blizzard. Blizzard now up into P4. Lambo then still trying to get something out of this race. And it must be so heartbreaking when things just go against you. It's just not your day. But at the moment, lap 17 of this Grand Prix. We have 2 laps to go. Siege leads the way from Steph and Spike. That's your podium so far. Blizzard in P4. Well, there is Siege there. And look at this battle developing for that second spot on the podium. It looks like that these guys weren't stopping at all. And Light E there, well, I'm thinking he just couldn't make it to the end. Speak of the devil, he's got himself a 3-second time penalty. That's all. That's contact between Plaster and Weed Nation. They're both into the wall. Well, both TTG teammates have taken each other out into turn 1. And Spike gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Well, I think there'll be words after that. Light E, meanwhile, again on fresh rubber. Could try down the inside. of Ollie here as he's trying to hold that position. But Ollie has been on those tyres since the start of the race, and Blaster has retired from the session. And that front wing and that incident with Weed Nation means he will not be taking any further part in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Meanwhile then, Siege is heading towards the line. He will start the final lap of this race in the lead, and will it end that way? Steph then, still trying to defend from Spike here. He could claim a podium here, Steph, if he can keep his cool, keep his nerves. Oh, but Spike, oh no, they've made contact! Spike has got his way past, or found a way past, but I'm not sure. Steph looks like he lost the back end there. And he just needs to recover himself, Steph. No, he's gone off! Steph's out! Oh, he's thrown away a podium! He threw away a podium! I can't believe that! Well, in the meantime, we are seeing Siege lead the way. No stopping this race. That's impressive. You can see that confirmed. Siege and Spike did not stop in this race. Neither did Ollie. Blizzard getting disconnected from the lobby and still finds herself in P3. But here comes Siege then, coming around the final few corners. And he's making his way up the hill now. Siege here is going to be thinking he's going to take a very audacious win. Siege then is going to come across the line. He's going to win here in Brazil. Spike then comes across the line. He'll take the second spot on the podium. But here he comes. Blizzard is going to cross the line. And he is Season 10 champion. Ollie is in P4, trying to hold off Light E for a split second, and he can! Ollie finishes in P4, Light E P5, Alan K into P6, Lambo, despite his best efforts, is going to finish in P7, and that is hard luck for Lambo. A great effort, a valiant effort this season, but it just got away from him at the final point. Mays finishing in 8th there. Weed Nation is going to come across the line in 9th place. Z3 is the last of the runners here. But your champion of season number 10 with a race to spare, it's Blizzard. Well, here they come out onto the podium, and the man in the Haas is the Season 10 champion with one race to go. He cannot be caught, but in the meantime, Siege wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. So then, your official, unofficial results. Siege wins the race. Spike is in 2nd. Blizzard in 3rd. Ollie in 4th. Light E 5th. Alan K 6th. Lambo in 7th. Maze in 8th. Weed Nation 9th. Z3 in 10th. Steph, who had a puncture, it was revealed in the chat, and that's why he lost it. Damien in P12. And there, Squeezy crashing out, of course, as well as Poe. Well, Season 10 is not over yet. We're going to have the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That's going to be starting, the stream that is, in around about 5 minutes. So I do hope you can join us for then. Keep on this page and you'll be able to see the race, round 20, the final race of Season 10, in just a few short minutes. And of course, I'll see you then.